I officially deleted social media yesterday. I have gotten to the point where I am so sick and tired of feeling like social media has been dictating and controlling my life for the longest time, feeling like I could be doing so many other things with my time, feeling like I'm missing out on doing things that I would want to be doing, but instead feel almost compelled to pick up my phone and scroll instead. And I've just realized that that's not cool, that's not okay, that's not normal, and I don't want to make it seem like something's wrong with all of us, right? It's normal in a sense that we're all collectively going through this, and I know this for a fact, but that doesn't mean that that's how we're supposed to live our lives, right? It's normal in a sense that we're all collectively going through the same thing, but it's not normal in a sense that we all feel this way and don't feel great about it. So I decided I'm done. I've deleted Instagram and TikTok. The only two apps that I'm keeping are Pinterest and YouTube. And I just feel like with Pinterest and YouTube, I do not feel that negative sense that I get when I go on these platforms that I do get when I go on Instagram and TikTok. For Pinterest, I use it as inspiration. It makes me feel so good. It's motivating. I use it for vision boards, which I'm going to be doing very shortly for January. And YouTube, same thing. I learned so many things on YouTube. I don't get in this doom scrolling mindset. I don't get stuck. I don't feel like I'm comparing myself to other people. So anyway, those are the two platforms that I'm keeping and that I will still be using sparingly. And guys, this is coming from somebody whose career is based around social media. Like, I'm a UGC creator, I'm a creative strategist, and I'm a content freelancer and contractor. So I wear a lot of different hats, and all of them are completely surrounding social media. Like, all of it. So I think that, of course, that adds to my desire to get off social media because not only is my free time spent on social media, but my work hours all day are spent also on social media. But when I take my job out of it, I realize that if anything, my career around social media isn't what stresses me out. I love what I do. I literally create YouTube videos. Like, you're literally watching me right now on a social media platform. And this is why I desire to build a brand around YouTube because I feel so compelled to YouTube for a lot of different reasons. I've always loved YouTube, but I just feel like there's so much realness and rawness on YouTube. It's less of a highlight reel, in my opinion. The content and the media that I consume on YouTube is so much less of a highlight reel, and that's also something that I like to value and I like to showcase on my channel. The lowlights of life. That's what I like to call it. The realness of life, not sugarcoating anything. But I've just realized that like my free time on social media is actually what stresses me out. Yeah. So it's been just over 24 hours. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's changed my life overnight. That's just ridiculous. I'm also not going to sit here and say that this is like a challenge that I'm doing or that I'm deleting social media forever, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll come out of this and not want to re-download the apps, or maybe I'll just have the apps for my career and for my job, right? And not leisurely spend time on social media. I don't know. I'm not creating a specific outcome for myself with this. I really was just fed up and I want to loosely get rid of social media and see how I feel. See what I'm able to accomplish. It's almost like not an experiment, but I just want to see where I'm at mentally. And I figured going into the new year with kind of like a cleansed, fresh mindset would be absolutely amazing. So if you can resonate, which I know a lot of you can, I'm going to just, I guess, share what I've been feeling, what I've been going through, and what I'm going to try and spend this extra time doing and focusing on. And yeah, hope that you can kind of feel seen and heard because it's a topic that people talk about, but I don't think people get deep into. And I kind of like to push the boundaries a little bit on this channel. I am going to be making an updated video, maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a month. I don't know when, but on how this has gone for me, what I've spent my time doing, any thoughts that I have, realizations that I have, if I'm going to continue it, just like an update, because I think it's going to be really cool to see in a few weeks from now, since I just started this yesterday, how I'm feeling. I do feel good already, but like I said, it's been 24 hours. If you are new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name's Lizette, I'm 29, and I share all things cozy real life diaries. So think sit down videos, realizations, monthly resets that you can expect every single month, and learning to become the best version of yourself, romanticize your life, become gently disciplined. I'm somebody that grew up being a complete people pleaser literally up until this year. Literally this year I decided, no, I don't even know myself. I've been people pleasing so hard my entire life. I realized at 29, I barely know who I am, what I like, all of the things, and that's what we've been working towards this year. I have come into myself so much over the last few months, and I'm bringing you guys along. So if you can relate to any of that and cozy fall vibes all year round, welcome. I absolutely think you're gonna love it here. And if you're returning, hey, welcome back. With that being said, we do not do anything on this channel without getting cozy first. So I have got my peppermint tea in my cute little Christmas cup. I've also got myself set up here in bed. Guys, I never film in bed. This is new. It's also evening. It's dark out. I have my ring light on so you wouldn't be able to tell, but I've got my pillow. I'm all cozy in bed. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some time. Go ahead, get cozy, get yourself a little drink, a blanket, throw a hoodie on, get the ambiance going, light some candles, set the vibe. And when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and jump into the rest of my random thoughts on social media and deleting it. I had officially reached a point where I felt like social media was costing me way more than it was giving me. After a while, I started to realize that not only was I consuming so much content, but I was also comparing myself to every single thing that I saw. Even if it didn't relate to me, I somehow made myself relate to it in a negative way. I also realized that I just didn't know myself, and I think social media had a huge part to play in that, if not the primary role to play in that. I realized that everything I was doing in my life was because I saw somebody else speak about it, or somebody else say they liked it, or somebody else say they started it. So I went ahead and felt like I was almost missing out, almost like a FOMO situation. And I'm not really somebody that has FOMO. I've never really had FOMO, and all of a sudden, if somebody's talking about a book, I'm a huge reader, heads up. But like if I saw somebody talking about a book, I had to read it. If I saw a million comments about how everyone loved it, I had to read it. So then I would stop what I was reading, or stop what was on my TBR, my list of books that I was going to read after what I was currently reading, and jump into that instead. And then even my fashion sense, I was like, I love the outfits that I have, but I don't really love them. Like I like them because I pieced them together, but I realized that I didn't create it because I wanted it. I created it because I saw it on somebody else. I saw it in a TikTok video. I saw this piece on someone else, and every single thing I was doing was because I saw somebody else doing it. And I was like, bro, I can't even conjure up an original thought. I can't even tell you what's original and what's not. And I said, no, that's an issue. That's a problem. And listen, I understand that there is so much good that comes of social media. Like I said, my career is all social media. So this is not me bashing social media by any means. That would be so hypocritical of me. And I know that we're only human. I know that this is the way of the world, and it's just going to continue this way, right? Also, guys, I realized I was making a lot of excuses. I realized that I was saying I don't have time for a lot of things that I said I wanted to do this year. I said, I don't have time to journal. I don't have time to read. I wanted to read more than I was reading at the time. And I was like, well, I don't have time. And all of a sudden something clicked in my brain, and I was like, you pick up your phone a gazillion times a day. What were to happen if you picked up a book that many times a day? How many books would you be able to read in a year? Not to make this a numbers game, because that is the last thing that I want to do, especially coming out of this. But I was like, something's off here. Why are we all saying we don't have time for things, but we're all also addicted to our phones? It's something that we don't even consciously realize. That was a huge light bulb moment for me. And then the last thing that I want to mention, I noticed myself doing, and you might resonate with this, you might not, maybe I was just crazy, but I noticed that like one source of consumption wasn't enough for me. Now, what do I mean by this? I love YouTube. I'm a YouTube vlog girl. If I'm on the treadmill, if I'm relaxing for the day on a Sunday, I'm throwing on a vlog. I'd rather throw on a vlog of a creator that I love than watch a movie, right? So I would notice that I'd put a vlog on, and within 30 seconds, I had to pick up my phone and I was scrolling on TikTok while I was watching this vlog. And guys, this could be a vlog of my favorite creator that I've been waiting all week to watch. And I was like, wait a minute, I just put this vlog on to consume this, and now I did, and now I picked up my phone to consume TikTok. Why am I consuming multiple forms of media at once? Why am I sitting here wondering why I'm so overwhelmed? Like, it made me realize I'm consuming so many different things throughout the day, even if it's not a situation where it's multiple forms of media at once, like the example I just gave. Even if you're just scrolling through TikTok 4, 5, 6, 10 times a day, you're consuming how many videos each time you open up TikTok? 5, 10, 15, 20. Multiply that by 5 times a day. Opinions, thought processes, how people are living their lives, routines. Could you imagine how overstimulated your brain is just from that alone? And that is just social media. That is not throwing on top of everything else you have going on in your life. Your job, your career, your relationships, your friendships, your wellness, your health. Guys, we are so consumed by social media, and it all just kind of hit me over the last month, and I said, I'm taking a break from this. I can't do this anymore. I want to be a more fun, creative person. I got heavy into reading this year. By no means am I like a book talk girly. See, everything is in relation to social media. Even this, I'm talking about TikTok, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not a book content creator, although I'm throwing it in there. I'm throwing it in my content now because it's a huge part of my life, if not one of the main parts of my life now. But I would say reading is a huge culprit in helping me realize that I was consuming too much social media because I wanted to read more than I wanted to scroll. And I was like, let's figure this out. What is it about reading that you want to do that social media doesn't give you? And I realized that I'm able to get lost in a world where I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I'm just simply getting lost and consuming in a way that doesn't feel forced, that doesn't feel icky. It feels good. It feels relieving. I get such a sense of I am not only doing good for my brain right now, but I am having the time of my life getting lost in this book, learning a world, learning a culture, learning a character, relating to a world, to a character, to a culture, learning something brand new. Like, there is just something, readers, you know what I'm talking about getting lost in a book. And I started to realize I was so busy with work that I could only read right before bed, and then I would get tired 20 minutes in, and I was like, this isn't enough. I want to read more, but I don't have time. And once I realized how much time I was on social media, I was like, girl, stop it. You are making excuses. So anyway, by the way, I'm sorry if this is all over the place. I just wanted to create this, like, speaking from the heart. I don't have an outline, a script, a bullet point for this. I just wanted to speak directly to you guys about this because it's wild, and I think a lot of us are going through it. But to tie all of that in, I just started to realize that I was grabbing for social media and picking up my phone out of habit, not out of desire. And I want to live a life where I'm creating the life of my dreams. I have so many goals. I have so many aspirations. I'm a very, very ambitious person. I had a lot of goals that I wanted to reach this year, and I've reached some of them. Some I have not. I have huge goals for next year, and I was like, all of my time needs to be allocated to things that I am choosing to do. And I felt like social media and picking up my phone is not something I want to choose to do this often. But yeah, I just couldn't ignore the fact that I felt like I was whining about something that I was doing to myself. I felt like I was making myself the victim to something that I could change. And I figured this is the best way to change it. So it's going to be a journey. It's going to be fun. Again, I don't know how long I'm going to do this for. I don't know how long it's going to last. My job does revolve around it. So in some way, shape, or form, I will have to have some kind of access to it, but not directly on my phone, not directly where I can pick up and scroll. And I will say over the last 24 hours, I have read more than I probably did like over the last week. I think yesterday I read like 50 to 70 pages, and I normally read like 10 to 20 in a day. So I'm very excited to see where this goes, which leads me into, I'll just tell you guys what I'm planning on replacing this time with, because it is going to be a lot of time, and I think I'm going to be shocked on a day-to-day basis to see how much downtime I have. Even just yesterday and today, I was picking up a book so often that I had to go out and drive somewhere at a certain point, and I was like, I'm taking my book with me because I don't know where I was going. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have any downtime, and I'm not going to be having my phone, so I need my book. So like that alone felt really good. I've never taken my book anywhere unless I intended to go to like a coffee shop and read, right? Like I just feel like it's allowing me to add in more pieces of joy to my life. So because we're kind of already on the topic, reading is going to be the main thing that I am going to be focusing on instead of scrolling. If you are somebody that wants to let go of social media more and you don't know what to fill your time with, fill it with reading. Get into reading. If you're a reader, read more. If you're not a reader, get into it. I'm telling you, do your best to just go into a bookstore and roam and have fun and see what catches your eye. Of course, you can get inspiration from social media if you want to, but I highly suggest letting things speak to you, letting things catch your eye, and just reading the backs of books, the synopsis, all of the things, because it will really teach you so much about what you like, what you are drawn to, and helps you understand yourself a little bit more. The goal is 80% of the time when I would have picked up my phone to scroll, I'm going to pick up my book and read. That's just that. So for example, when I first get up in the morning, I have a pretty bad habit of scrolling a little bit. I don't do a ton of it because I know it's not productive and it doesn't help me at all, but definitely a victim to it. So I've been reading about 20 pages in the morning before I get up and fully start my day. So good. I've been loving it. Also, when I'm eating my meals, that is a huge one. It also helps with your eating habits, with your digestion. You eat a little bit slower. I don't know. There's just something about reading while eating instead of scrolling. You can also kind of enjoy your food a little bit more. I know you're still getting lost in a world. You're still focused on something other than eating, but there's just something about a physical book in your hands, reading words on a page that seems so much less harsh and distracting, especially while you're doing something as gentle as eating and fueling your body. So I don't know if that makes any sense. Some people are probably going to be like, what is she talking about? But if you get it, you get it. Also, reading without checking my phone. Something else that I realized that was driving me absolutely insane over the last couple months was I couldn't read a couple pages of a book without feeling the literal urge physically to pick up my phone and open up TikTok and scroll. I didn't even want to. I could be so locked into a book and I would physically feel the urge and have to pick up my phone, and I'd scroll 2 videos and I'm like, what am I doing? I don't want to be doing this. I want to be locked into my book. I'd put the phone down, get a few pages in, and like a natural urge. And I was like, this is literally ridiculous. I was starting to get annoyed because there's nothing worse than wanting to be locked into something and not being able to lock in. Like your brain is literally not allowing you to do what your brain wants to do. I don't know. Again, some people might not deal with this. I also have ADHD, so that I know plays a part in it. And I think that, guys, this is actually going to help my ADHD. So if you have focus issues, motivation issues, I think this is really going to help. Next is going to be writing/journaling. I am a huge advocate for journaling, and I think about journaling all the time. I probably think about wanting to pick up my journal and write at least 5 or 10 times a day, no joke. And what did I always say? I don't have time. I'm working right now. I'm doing this right now. I don't have time. Before bed, No, I need to replace it with scrolling, and that's what we're going to be doing. So I have 2 different journals that I plan on writing in. I have my everyday journal, which is literally just at the end of the day or in the beginning of the day in the morning. note to self, dear diary, synopsis of what happened today. Anything that I feel like I need to get off of my brain, gratitude, affirmations, all of those good things, whatever I'm feeling for the day, I really, really want to start doing that more consistently and make a habit out of it. I think it's going to be a lot easier to create habits and routines as well with this new allocated time. So that's going to be really fun. I plan to get my first fountain pen. If you're a writer, if you're a journaler, if you have a journal ecosystem, leave any comments below or tips with beginner fountain pens. If you have any, because I've heard that it's a bit of a learning curve. I think that I'd really like it. And I'm just going to try and really romanticize this, really romanticize these writing moments and journaling moments and connecting deep within myself. I feel like I've lost the ability to deeply connect with myself and really figure out what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And I think that this is really going to help as well. So really going to romanticize that. And then the other piece of writing and journaling is my commonplace notebook. I've been talking about this a lot, and I adore commonplace journaling. I started this a few months back, and I've gotten away from it over the last couple weeks, and I can feel the urge. I can feel the desire to get back into it. It's essentially where you brain dump everything you want to learn, everything you do learn, all of your thoughts, ideas, and anything you want into this journal. There's a lot of history behind it. Philosophers started this way, way, way back when. They carried this with them, just jotting down everything they learned, all of their thoughts. And I think it's a great concept. It's been great for helping me understand what I truly like in life, what I truly desire. I write a lot of reminders, notes to self, realizations that I have, a lot of quotes that I annotate in my books, vocabulary, things I want to learn, research, all of those kinds of things. It really draws you away from consuming content and brings you into a world of your own. And I think it's such a beautiful habit, and it's something that I want to fit in way more, and this is going to help me do that. And then alongside that is learning. I want to learn more. I want to research more. I want to find a random topic or read something about a random topic and be like, I want to learn more about that, and I'm going to mark out time this week to do so and write it in my journal and write it in my commonplace journal. There's something so fulfilling about learning something new at this big age, whether you're in college, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, there's something so fulfilling about self-learning. It's one thing to have to go to college. It's one thing to have to go to school and be taught something or have to do training at a job because somebody else is telling you to do so. But being able to want to learn something yourself and do it and learn it in a way that you want and you desire, so fulfilling. And then last is more creative hobbies. I have been in a creative space this year. I have not tapped into it as much as I wanted to because I didn't have the time. But throughout the rest of this year and going into 2026, I really want to dive deep into it. I do have a creative journal here where it's essentially scrapbooking, collaging, all of the things. I don't really have a specific title on it, but I have a lot of craft supplies. So different, stickers, washi tapes. Sometimes I save receipts and things from places that I've went and I put it in here, but I really do just like to have fun with crafts and supplies and putting things on paper and just creating something aesthetically visual to the eye with your own hands. It's think of it this way. I love Pinterest more than anything, and I love creating boards. I have a Pinterest board for just about everything. No exaggeration. And I think it's really fun to have a creative journal like that and create your own little boards with physical media, with stickers, with cutouts from a magazine, washi tape, lace, anything you can find. So that's going to be one of my creative hobbies. Something else that I really, really want to get into is pottery. Now, this goes hand in hand with something else that I'm going to be filling this time with, which is solo dates. I do a little bit of solo dates here and there. It's mostly shopping, and it's not the healthiest solo date, but a lot of it has been thrifting and secondhand shopping and antiquing, so not that upset about it. But I really want to take myself on creative solo dates. So pottery is a huge one for me. I want to go to a ceramics place where you can paint mugs and plates and different things for your home, because I'm getting more into home decor. I'm getting more into finding my artistic style, my fashion sense, and this is the perfect way to be super creative. So I think that That is going to be really fun. And then the last two things are not really related, but they go hand in hand. So the first one is decorating my home, decorating my apartment. I've put this off for a long time because I've been busy. I've been in this apartment for a year this month, and I'm just over the last month getting around to decorating and putting things on the wall and curating my specific taste, because I finally feel like I'm understanding myself more from taking a step back from social media over the last few months. And I'm not curating spaces based off of what other people are doing. I'm finding out what I really like. I like going antiquing. I like thrifting, which is something I haven't really liked before. So I'm finding pieces that feel good to me and that feel like can make this apartment a home. So I want to really focus on that, curating pieces, curating a cozy home, and then also focusing on building outfits. Now, this might not resonate with everybody, and you might be like, you're going to spend time curating outfits, but yeah, my entire life, actually going all the way back to high school, my dream in high school was fashion college. Wanted to be a fashion designer, and I wanted to go to FIT in New York City. New York City is still my end goal to live there. There's just something about it. I'm so drawn to the city, which all of this ties into New York City. And anyway, getting off on a tangent, back to school. Dream was to be a fashion designer. Never ended up doing it. Never chased that dream. And then I ended up realizing that I didn't know what I wanted to do in college, was a college dropout. Then I just started getting full-time jobs, and then my boyfriend and I moved out of state together when I was 21, still just had a corporate job. And then 5 years ago, I got into business. I started my own business and entrepreneurship, and fast forward to now, I'm realizing that I'm a super creative soul, and anything creative is what I want to be doing with my time, and that is what this break is really going to allow me to do. So tying this back in with fashion, I realize now that I'm learning myself more. I'm understanding my fashion sense. I'm understanding what pieces I love, what I'm drawn to, and building out outfits over the last month after learning myself has been some of the most fulfilling moments of my year this year. And that might sound dramatic, but if you know anything about learning yourself, finally coming into yourself, and if you love fashion, you know what I'm talking about. And it all makes so much sense now why I had such a strong desire in high school to be a fashion designer, because now that I'm creating softer space for things that I love in my life, all of those things that I used to like as a kid, as a teenager, before real life hit, are starting to come back. And it all ties into creativity. I've always been a creative soul. I just never had the opportunity and the brain width and space to dive into that and nurture that. Nobody in my life really was a creative. I'm an only child, and I had a lot of things going on as a kid and as a teenager. I was taking care of a lot of other people, had to drop out of college because of that. Then I moved at 21, and then I had to support myself. So I just went through a lot where I had to push all of my own desires and needs to the side, and that includes who I am. That included the things that I love. I had to just be an adult. I had to make a way for myself, and I've been doing that. And even the last 5 years in business, it's been hard. Building a business from scratch with nobody to help you. I have a very supportive partner, so he has been supportive, but building a business at, how old was I? 25 years old was really hard, and you're in survival mode, and I've been in survival mode. And then social media was where my business lived. Social media, I decided to build an online coaching business, and then I got into UGC, and now I'm doing creative, and all of the things, like, it all leads back to social media, consuming everything, right? So like as a child, it was everybody else, it was people pleasing, and then business and entrepreneurship and social media. So I lost who I was over all of those years. The last time I knew who I was before, like 6 months ago, was like adolescence. And that's crazy. And I do think that a lot of people will understand what I'm saying in your own way. Everybody, especially nowadays, if you're in your late 20s in general, 30s, a lot of us have gone through a lot of BS in this world and have been thrown to the wolves. We all have our own traumas. We all have our own upbringings that have shaped us and caused us to live the way that we live now, right? A lot of us have had to fight our way through things, and it's drawn us so far away from who we truly are, and we don't even realize it. That was the realization I had at the beginning of the year, before any of the social media talk, was that I didn't know me. I was like, I feel like I'm operating watching myself. Like, I feel like I'm watching myself live life every day, but I don't know who that her is. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent now. I just think it's really important to take a step back from everybody else trying to force life to be a certain way because you see other people living a certain way. You see family members living a certain way. You have family members' opinions, friends' opinions, other outside opinions coming into play. And it's so easy to lose ourselves. It's so easy to lose ourselves in not just social media, but in other people's thought processes and all of the things. So, all of this to say, I think taking a step back from social media is going to do wonders for my mental health. Anyway, it's going to be really fun to see where I'm at in a few weeks, maybe a month. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't really know what this is going to change for me. I just know that I needed to make a change and I needed to try. So yeah, I know that that was kind of all over the place and apologies for that, but I think that it's relatable and I'm curious if you've made it this far. Leave a comment and let me know if you can relate to any of this. Let me know if you're thinking about deleting social media, if you're thinking about taking a social media break, if you have deleted social media maybe, and what you've learned from it, how you feel about it, what you've replaced it with. Maybe you've found a really good balance between not being on social media and still having social media for certain things. Like, I'm just super curious what everybody's experience with this is because I am 29. I wish I would have done this earlier and just taken a little bit of a step back, but because it's been my job for the last 5 years, it hasn't really been top of mind for me. So I'm curious, what have you guys experienced with social media? Does this resonate at all? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do I sound like a crazy person? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope you feel a little bit more seen and realize that you're not alone if you feel like social media is kind of consuming your life. But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. You are so appreciated, and I will see you in the next video.